Welcome to the Positively Healthy Mom podcast, where positive parenting meets well-being. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Positively Healthy Mom. I'm your host, Laura Olinger, and today I'm so excited to introduce you to Renaye Thornborrow, who is a personal development expert and founder of Adventures in Wisdom. So, Renaye, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. We've got so much to cover. And so tell us just, quick background about who you are and why we're together today.
Absolutely, Laura. Thanks for having me. And really what our company is all about is helping children learn about the power of their thoughts and the power of their mind and bringing mindset skills training and life coaching to kids. Since 2013, we've certified many hundreds of coaches in over 30 countries to help them bring this work to children, transforming the lives of children and families around the world, while also creating their own businesses, whether it's part-time, full-time, and just having a wonderful impact on children and their families.
I think that's so awesome. I have a feeling that there's so many moms listening today that, might have an interest in, creating a career for themselves or changing careers. And so how could they become a life coach for kids?
Well, we do have a lot of parents, volunteers, grandparents that they start wanting to help their own children and their vision starts to expand and they want to help other children as well. That's exactly how I wound up getting into this whole thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, it's just a matter of what I would invite them to do is experience our curriculum, download a free coaching story, see what it's like to use it with their own children and see if that's something that they think they might want to do. And then if so, watch a video overview about our program, how we support our coaches with a story-based coaching curriculum and story coaching process, as well as abundance of resources on the marketing, business, and coaching side to help them start a successful business. So that's how they can learn more. And then if they feel inspired, to apply to talk with one of our success coaches.
Okay, awesome. And so I, of course, have spent time researching you and your company, and I'm so curious because you're bringing up the word story a lot. And so I did download one of your stories, but for our listeners, explain what you mean by stories and how that gets incorporated into the life coaching.
Well, that really is what is so special about the Adventures in Wisdom program. So we help children develop 27 mindset skills all through a story-based coaching curriculum. So our stories are written in a fable format and they're designed to teach a mindset skill to children. So through the story, children can see situations that the characters are facing, things that they might face in their real life, whether it's with friends, school, at family, extracurricular activities, and how you can use different mindset skills to be empowered in life and make your choice, whether it's making choices or thinking about something differently so that you're developing confidence, developing self-esteem, and supporting our children and creating happiness in their lives, which is what as parents we all want for our kids, right? Mm-hmm. So it's more than just a story though. It is a curriculum. So there's two parts to each one of what we call a skill book. So 27 stories, 27 skill books, 27 skills. So a mentor's guide, that's going to have the background information and coaching tips for the coach. And then we have the children's guide where you're going to have the coaching story, child-friendly discussion questions, and then activities that are multisensory and really give children an opportunity to experience these skills at a deeper level. A lot of them have like art projects, which gives them something we call memory markers to take home to remember the skill. And of course, practice, practice, practice.
Yes. Practice is so important just to have that repetition and have it really deeply ingrained into their nervous system and their memory and all those things so that it comes up when they need it the most. And so what age range would you say this is for?
Well, when I designed the program, it's really geared towards elementary, early middle school. So about ages 6 through 12, 13, 14-ish or so. And the stories themselves are written at about a grade 4 level. But one thing that surprised me over the years, Laura, is how many of our coaches use our work with teens and even some of the younger kids. It's really about who they're most comfortable working with and adapting it as needed to serve who they're working with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so could a mom who maybe doesn't have an interest in starting a life coaching business, could she just, is it possible to her go through your program or buy your curriculum and just use it on her own kids?
Well, we do have several different packages. The lowest end package, she can become a coach, but there's a package that wouldn't have a lot of the business training. So it would be a lower investment level for her there if she wanted to do that. But yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But what she might find is that she wants to coach other kids too and create a little bit of a side income there.
Yeah, yeah. And I could just see that going in so many different directions because, moms, which I encourage a lot, I spend a lot of time talking to moms about being their own person and having an identity outside of their kids. And so, even though you might be working with kids, it's still that can become your own thing and away from your family and give yourself your own sense of self esteem and worth and confidence and all that stuff because it's the way you're contributing to the world. So, speaking of that, what are some specific skills that you teach your coaches to help and help the parents build strong self-esteem in the kids?
Well, one of the most powerful skills for self esteem and confidence is the skill of self talk. And every moment of every day, we're saying something to ourselves, either through our thoughts or through our words. And those words and thoughts are either building us up or they're tearing us down. We're doing it as adults, our kids are doing it as well. And most people aren't even aware of it. So, self talk is one of the most powerful skills to teach children. And this is actually the story that we give away for free on our website because it's such an important skill. And even if this is the only thing that a parent does, it will really support children in their confidence and in their self esteem and even resilience for them to learn how to talk with themselves in a way that's going to support them in navigating a situation. But they will learn how to identify and shift negative self talk, then how to proactively build their positive self talk. And the
Mm-hmm.
more they practice, the more it becomes their normal way of thinking about themselves to where it can really transform their identity. It's extremely powerful.
Yes, and I love those. I love that. I love that because I use that on myself. I use that with my clients, and so I can attest to how powerful that is. So, for the average listener out there who maybe they're used to me, but they haven't met a lot of other coaches, what would you say is the difference between a therapist and a coach? Or any other profession out there that might be helpers and helping children?
Yeah, it's a very important distinction. So if you look at mental health on a continuum where you have mental wellness on one end and mental illness on the other end, counselors and therapists tend to work with children who are more towards the mental kind of illness side where they have more serious issues that they're dealing with and they work with them to get back to a point of being more normalcy, being in their day-to-day life. Coaches are working with children who are on more the mental wellness side, but it's really about supporting them in proactively developing resilience and coping skills, proactively developing their confidence and self-esteem skills, and then learning how to do things like set and achieve their goals, manage peer pressure, develop self-leadership skills. So it's really being more proactive and helping them build that strong mental fitness before there is a situation, before there is a crisis. We actually, on our website too, underneath the For Parents tab, we have a really powerful infographic. It's a continuum. Here, I'll show you a picture. It's kind of like
Okay.
this. And it's got a whole list of situations that you might see where coaching applies and then where counseling and therapy might be a better fit as well. And
Mm,
of course, we also advise, anytime a child is either threatening hurting themselves or someone else or doing so, that's absolutely a counselor therapist type situation. But if they're
mhm.
struggling a little bit with their self-esteem or shyness or making friends or maybe they're too scared to try out for the baseball team, those are types of situations that coaching is phenomenal for. Even if they
Mm,
have little fears, fear of the dark or sleeping in their own room, our coaches have gotten amazing results with children.
yes, that makes so much sense. And so when parents are either looking to become a coach or on the other end, if they're looking to hire a coach, what should they be looking for in that coach?
So one thing is really going to be the fit. And just all of our coaches are going to have a conversation with a parent. Now, for a parent who might be interested in working with one of our coaches, we have something called a Connect with a Coach form on our website where they can describe the situation, what they're experiencing and the results they would like to see with coaching. And
Mhm.
hopefully they've talked with their child too about what results they would like to see, because this isn't about fixing kids, it's about empowering children and helping
Mhm.
them develop these life skills to really be able to thrive in life. And then having that conversation is really important. But it is about the skill set and the fit. And when someone does fill out one of these forms, our coaches who feel like could be a good fit for helping that child will be the ones to respond directly to the parent. And then it's up to them as to whether or not it might be a good fit.
Okay. Okay. And can you share some stories? Obviously, we hold clients' um, privacy in high regard, but can you anonymously share some success stories of some of the clients that your coaches have worked with?
Oh, absolutely. We've got so many on our website, and in the book too. Is just and we always change the names because, like you said, your privacy is so important. But one of them was a little boy named Tyler, and one of our coaches was working with him, and the parents hired him because he was really struggling with both confidence and his self-esteem. In fact, when the first time she met him, he wouldn't look at her, had a really soft tone of voice, and it was just incredibly withdrawn and shy. And after just a couple of coaching sessions, he started building his confidence a little bit. And one of the things that we do when we're working with children on their confidence is we help them develop what we call stretch activities, where they stretch outside of their comfort zone. And one of the stretch activities that they created together was to go to a coffee shop where he would introduce himself to the the barista and other people there and find out what they like to do, just to have conversations. And so the coach, the mom, and Tyler went, and the mom could not believe what she was seeing. Her son was talking to different people and just was coming out of his shell. And it's just amazing. After just about, I think that was probably 6 or 7 coaching sessions, he was able to really build his confidence. And what was really neat about this story, Laura, is that he lived in a high-rise apartment building. I think this was in Europe, if I remember correctly. And he would look out the window and see the boys playing in the play yard. And he was too afraid to go ask them if he could play. And he built up the courage to go ask them to play. And, they became his playmates. And so it was just really a story of transformation for him, both in his confidence and his self-esteem. That's just one of so many examples.
Yes, I'm sure you've got. So it sounds like, and I think you mentioned you've got coaches all over the world. How many countries did you say?
It's actually over 40 now. Our website will say 30, but it's actually over 40 now.
Okay, that's amazing. And how have people been able to find you? Like how you discovered people in 40 countries?
Yes, yes. So, whenever we do our marketing, we're mostly in the United States, and most of our coaches are in the US or Canada, Australia, because our curriculum is in English right now. But other people just find us like on Google, and then referrals, and then ICF training as well. We do a CCE training every month, and that's another way that they find us too.
Oh, okay. That makes so much sense. Just because I know listeners on this podcast are in many countries. And so I thought that was fascinating that people could find you. What else should we know today? Like, what else is important that we know?
Just the power of the mind is so critical for our children, because if you think about it, when faced with challenges and disappointments, most children don't have the tools to handle them. So what happens is they will get down on themselves. That's going to crush their self-esteem. They give up on themselves, which is going to crush their confidence. And this doesn't have to happen. Confidence, self-esteem, resilience, these are all skills that can be developed. And coaching is a powerful way to support children in developing these skills. I mean, I'm amazed at how quickly our coaches can get results with kids. I mean, a lot of times, even from the very first session, the parents will notice a big change in their kids. So I think that's the main thing. And the other thing too is that a coach is not there to replace a parent. They're part of the parents' team. In fact, the book I just wrote, it came out just a few months ago. It's a parent's guide to life coaching for kids. When to add a coach to your parenting team. So it really is, that's the way coaches view themselves, as they're part of that parents team. The parents are always the most important person in that child's life. And it's just a matter of getting that little extra support sometimes to support the child in being who they were meant to be in the world.
Yes, yes. So tell us more about your book. That sounds fascinating.
Yes. Well, we put this one together actually for our coaches to use to help parents understand what this is all about. And we have a lot of the content from this book free on our website. For the underneath the for parents, there's a tab that says something like, is coaching right for your child? And it's going to share a lot of the information in here, such as, when to add a coach to your parenting team. What are some things to think through? And we have a little checklist that the parents can get to kind of think through, is coaching going to be right for my family?
Yes, yes. In fact, that's one of the things I did download from your website was the checklist. So tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a copy of it right here. I mean, there's 4 key areas where we have different questions to ask yourself. One is, how's your child feeling? And you can see, we as parents, we can see how our child is feeling about themselves, about situation, about school, etc. And if they're struggling a little bit, that might be a sign to get a coach involved. What's the child doing? Now, this is a big one, like around self-responsibility, household chores, screen time, homework, that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
what type of behaviors are you seeing in your child? Because a lot of times coaching can support a child in making better choices and being the boss of themselves is what we call it. They can be the boss of me. And then, what does the child want? Our coaches have helped children achieve big goals, whether it's performing their solo on the dance competition, making the all-star team, getting out of a hitting slump, if there's different, making grades. A lot of our coaches have specialties like working with children who might have learning differences or who are ADHD and helping them learn how to kind of manage the challenges they might be dealing with and achieve good grades or and achieve an award that they might be going for as well. So they might have a goal. And then it's, what do you want? I mean, what motivated me when I got into all of this is I wanted my children to learn about personal development, to learn about the power of their mind, because I didn't discover it until out of college. And I was like, why didn't I learn this when I was a kid?
Yeah.
And we will find that the vast majority of our coaches and parents who hire our coaches, they love personal development, self-development type work. A lot of
Mm.
us have the same books on our bookshelves. We're lifelong learners, and we want to support our children in building these skills for themselves so that they can navigate life and just be confident and prepared to thrive.
Yes, yes. Which is so important. And so I would love to dig a little bit deeper on the technology use, because I feel like I get so many questions on, as a parent coach to teenagers, how to set up boundaries for your, kids, and how to navigate the screen time issue and the content and the social media. And so when your life coaches on your team coach children, how do they address that with the kids?
Oh, well, I mean, it is one of the most challenging things that parents are dealing with their children, especially as children start getting into that middle school and high school years. And I think a lot of it is with educating children about the impact of technology. Have you read the book The Anxious Generation by chance?
I have, yes.
Well, I just started that book. I'm 25% of the way through it. And that is something I think every parent needs to read because it
Yes.
really talks about the impact of screens and of social media on our children's mental health. And it's very eye opening. And I think that for children, for them to understand how technology impacts them as people, is going to be really important. I tell you, the other thing, Laura, that we're going to be dealing with is AI. Because with
Yeah.
AI now, the critical thinking skills that children usually develop in school is suddenly AI is going to be answering all these questions for them.
Yes.
We're going to see that one of the biggest impacts on our children's learning and social emotional development, I think, in the next 5 years, maybe even a bigger impact than what we've seen in the last 10 with social media. It's going to be profound.
I completely agree. It's like I've been talking to this with a lot of people about this topic, and it's almost like, when the internet was first getting started and we still had the little dial up, we had no idea like where this was going or what it would become or how it
Right,
would impact our lives, and that we could go on Amazon and have something to our house at 4 hours later, right?
right.
Like, we
Crazy.
know,
Yeah,
and I feel like we're just on the tip of the iceberg with the
we are.
AI. And so how that's going to impact our kids, I think, is really important to be aware of. So I think that what you're doing and what your coaches are doing is like the level of importance is like going even more
Yeah,
through the roof, because it's impacting how our kids are able to process, like you're saying, their own thoughts, their own feelings, like instead of, like, yeah. So what are you seeing as a potential impact?
yeah. And one thing I will share with you, our coaches work live with children. Now it might be online via Zoom, but they
Yeah.
are live.
Hmm.
Our children are craving human to human connection, and that
Yeah.
is just disappearing in so many children's lives. And it is just such an important component. And that's one thing I encourage all parents is to find any opportunity that they can spend with their children or in situations where they're not in front of screens and videos and that type of thing, because it's going to be so important for their social and emotional development. Yeah.
Yes, I cannot agree more. And one thing that I have done some reading about is specifically to teenagers, where teenagers don't like to be duped. So when they learn that companies are buying and selling their data, that they are being used as profits, like they're like, we don't like that. We don't want to be part of that. And so as part of the education piece, I know that could probably trickle down to kids as well as like, and it's not to paint, because they might have a parent that's working for a technology company. It's not to paint the technology company as the big bad wolf, but just to have the awareness that like when you're spending your time online, it's not just you getting, entertainment or content or
Right.
whatever. Company is also getting something as well.
Absolutely. You're right about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this has been a fascinating conversation. How can people find you going forward?
Well, we invite you to visit our website, adventuresinwisdom.com. Check out a free coaching story about self-talk. Just download it today. You have story time tonight and start helping children in your life learn that skill. If you're interested in being a coach, we have a tab there that says be a coach. If you're interested in resources for parents or maybe even working with one of our coaches, we have a resource there that says, or tab there that says for parents, and that's how you can learn more.
Awesome. Well, Renaye, this has been a great conversation. I thank you so much for your time, and hopefully everybody will go check out your website.
Thanks for having me, Laura.
Thanks.